Honestly, before I start, I'm going to clear the table a bit. But I'm going to do a video. And I'm going to challenge myself for once. And I'm going to record it. Right, let's clear the table. I mean, it looks a little bit tidy. It's not tidy, but it looks tidier. So, box that you can just see down there in the corner came from my mate Dwayne. Just move my brew. What he has sent me very kindly, because he clearly thinks that I don't do anything in life, is a JPM Impact R processor, and it says displays both error codes, no boot. Okay, so we've got a potentially faulty JPM Impact R. Impact R basically means it's a reproduced card. My mate Matty, shout out to him, Matthew Potter. Right, so then he sent me error code 4.4 on a board that's been repaired. So this is an Omega M1B 1995 revision. See where it's had work done in the past. A lot of the main stuff's been socketed, but it's got a fault of 4.4. In my head, 4.4 would be switches. So it's likely to be those likely to be. If you ever watch Magic's channel, Magic will tell you the likely fault areas from the plugs generally are around there. Not always, there's some real red herrings, don't get me wrong, but general rule of thumb. So I'm guessing that's got a switch fault. Moving swiftly on. That's the board that I've done in the past, look, last year. And that tries to boot, red light on, no boots, that just doesn't boot at all. Okay, so that's that one. Moving on to the next one, we've got all working except for a row of lights out. By row of lights, it could be a few scattered around, and it could be resistors, transistors, or it also could be these bad boys, pre-drives, which are well known for going. There seems to have been something not gone well up there as well that might need investigating, so it could be there as well. So that's somewhere in that area. And then probably wasn't blown up when I sent it. And then this one works except for no working alpha. And I did that in 2024, so that got done 2 years ago. We've got no alpha. And we're going to start with that one. Action is going to be to see how much of this I can fix in one day. Today is the 28th of February, so it's the last day of February, unless it's a leap year, don't even know, don't really care. But yeah, it's 28th of Feb today. And honestly, I'd booked 3 days off. It just sort of came together, and I was like, do I go away and do some slotting, which is tempting, or do I ignore the slotting because I kind of want a few days to myself? And do I just chill out, maybe bob over Blackpool on Monday, because I've got to pick a carcass up off Callum for something that I'm going to do as a rebuild for my channel. So what I thought I'd do, I thought football's on, there's plenty of stuff to watch on TV, and I've got test rigs. So if we move over here briefly, we have a fully working test rig there, which is all good in the hood. So we've got a test rig there. And if we come on the other side there, we've got another test rig here. However, I've just finished doing a roller coaster last week for Mr. Pritchard, which he very kindly blew up the main boards for, which shout out to you. And it's got nothing in it at the moment. So, I kind of, in my head, I don't want to labour going on about it because it could end up being quite a long video. And in my head, I was like, if I can pass on some of my knowledge to other people and hopefully, listen, I'm a hobbyist, it's all self-taught, yeah? Or been taught by Magic, painstakingly, in fairness to Magic. But all of the work that I've done is a culmination of maybe 5-6 years worth of buying fruit machines, tinkering with them and fixing them. I have regrets like everybody else, but if it's something I can do within these videos which is going to help keep machines alive, because I won't do this forever, and you know, I'm 47 years old and it'll remain a hobby of mine probably for quite a while, but eventually I'll stop. Like, everybody will eventually. So while I can do stuff and I can show other people, why don't I? I've got my second channel, my backup channel, and I can probably put these fixes, if I can get them to work today or down the line, into my second channel as like independent videos on them. However, I can also put the whole thing out on my main channel and show how hard I have to work, or hopefully not work in this case. But anyway, let's crack on. I've talked for far too long. So we're going to start with this, but at the same time, we might as well have a little look-see at this as well. So I'm going to put this onto a tray on the table, and I'm going to go from there. Back in a mo. Okay, so from Dwayne's care package, what we have done so far, I've not done anything. I've not turned anything on. All I've done is literally put one of my processor cards in it, my Kung Fu ROMs into it. I've zeroed all of the DIL switches on it. I've attached a logic probe to it, which I probably don't need at this stage, but there we go. We have got it. And all I'm going to do, and we've connected an alpha. That's literally it. So the symptoms are no alpha. So ping her on. Hopefully no smoke billows out the board, but ping her on, and then 6 seconds, you get your light on, and then hopefully we'll get a flashing light eventually. If we get a flashing light, we'll either get an alpha or we won't get an alpha. Teddy, come here, my mate. Come here. It's not woke up yet, has it? We may be here for quite some time. We might not be. Let's see if it's going to try to boot. So that's what pin 9 should be doing of the 616. It's high-low pulsing, it's not stopping, it's trying. So potentially it's just one of these. Sometimes boards do take a while to wake up on the table. So let's sit and wait. See if we can get any life out of her. That would be nice. I might have to get a brew counter because I might be drinking quite a lot of tea today. What do you like a cuppa, as we all know? She's thinking of starting, but that's all she's doing. Let's check pin 9 again. Yeah, still high-low pulsing. They can take 5 minutes to start as well, which is slightly irritating, I know, but at the moment all we can do is sit and wait and see what she decides to do and check that the symptoms are the symptoms. And you know, people will write stuff on a board, they'll mix boards up. You know, maybe I'm in front of the one that doesn't boot at all, who knows? Or something's stopping it from booting. So very, very quickly, like the important ICs for boot. U1 and U2 are important. Which are those two? See, I've labelled them U1 and U2. I've got U5, which does most of the work. 68681. U8 is involved in the boot. U9 is involved in the boot. U14 is involved in the boot. That little bad boy is involved in the boot. Knocked over my alpha. It doesn't like it wants to start, does it? Which is irritating. And U10, that's also involved in the boot. U3 is involved in the boot. And U6 often causes loads of resets. But all that sort of stuff is your main bits of an impact board. There's quite a bit. I'm quite irritated she doesn't want to start. Because she's trying. And it could be, so with the alpha, so again, this is magic and the alpha plug, and and giving you a few clues. But off here, several of these, there's not many traces up here. Several of these pins go into U10. So U10 is one of your most important parts of it. And then it's driven by that one there, U22. Now, U10 itself can stop a boot. So it is entirely possible that I've just got a bad U10, and when it was turned on before, it was potentially being halted by the bad alpha, but that U10 could potentially be bad. That would be my first port of call. I can't test that in the Mini Pro. I have said this on previous videos. I do have a board out there that allows me to test this to an extent. So I just fire it on the table, set up exactly as we've got set up now, and that's where we're at. I am just going to turn her off and on again. I'm just going to unplug that just to see. Although I might have to put you down a sec. Just to see. So we'll see if we get any change in state. Now I don't have an alpha attached to it. There we go. Look, there we go. So we are getting a boot without an alpha on there. So we can see dead clearly that I'm just going to try and plug it in whilst on it. You probably shouldn't, but I don't really care at the moment. So, oh look, see all that junk we've got on there. Now, that might be because I've just done that, but there's a lot of junk on the alpha. But the alpha's actually working. So it could be, I mean obviously the alpha display works. It could be a bad U10. It could be a U22 issue. I don't know at this point whether it's that or that. I don't actually know. But we know the board boots, which is important. Now, somebody might have that in a machine at home, and when they've got that in a machine at home, they just assume they've got a bad board. And there's a lot of junk on the alpha again, look. Teddy's going to bark at stuff all day. So a lot of junk on the alpha, but it's not booted either, which is interesting, isn't it? So, alright, we've definitely got an issue in this area. Shouting at the dogs. It has booted up, as from where we were, with the junk on the screen. So we know we've got some issue around this alpha display. What I am going to do while we're here is I'm going to have a look at Matty's Impact R and just see what that does. I'll just disconnect the alpha though. Go again. So I've just swapped over to the Impact R, or better check, there's no ROMs in it. Yeah, there's no ROMs in it. Good, thank God for that. Right, let's try again. Because that would cause conflict if we had two sets of ROMs trying to be read. I have done it in the past. See if it's still... There you go. Right, so I mean, the Impact R is booting on a table. Again, we don't know if it works, if it doesn't work, but that's some good news as it's working on a table. Let's focus on getting this to actually do what it's meant to do. That's the next job. Okie dokie. So, first thing I'm going to do, the iron's already warm anyway, so I'm going to take U22 out. I'm just going to test that and see if it works in the Mini Pro, on a laptop, on the table. That's the first job. Then, if that does work, great. We will move on to this and we will have a look-see at her, which will mean swapping her out for a known good one. Desoldered that. You can see I've desoldered it. So I just use a normal little solder sucker with a bit of silicone on the end. That's kind of had its day, but it'll carry on being used for a bit, and I'll just cut a bit more silicone off. So I've disconnected this. I'm just going to show you how I take a chip out. So I've got a knife, and it's got the edge cut off it. And I literally go underneath it like that, and then I come around the other side, and then I just sort of ease it out the other side. There we go. It's literally easy out. You probably didn't see that at all, but then pull it off. You need to be really, really careful. You need to make sure you've desoldered everything properly, because if you don't desolder everything properly, some of these little tiny traces will end up coming out with your chip. If something's got hot, sometimes it just happens. There's nothing you can actually do, but touch wood, fingers crossed and all that. If you do it properly and you take your time and you make sure it's clear, then your pins all wiggle before you take it out, and you can feel them moving. You shouldn't have a problem. You should just be able to pull it out. Right, so that's that bad boy out. get a laptop. Okay, so the chip is in. It's a 7432. Well, we'll hit auto find. That normally tells me what I'm looking for. There you go, 7432. And then we just go to the top here and we just type in 7432, 7432. And then we hit the word test and it should all come up perfect. Yes, it does. Normally, like I said, I've said this on a previous video, if you hit auto find it, don't find it, it's normally going to have bad pins. And I never went through this before, but there are all your pin numbers as well. So it'll say which pins are bad. Bear in mind that Magic always says to me this is feeding it good data, not bad data. So yeah, so test, all good. We know it's not that can get pulled back straight back into the board. I'm going to try and show me soldering. So this area here is where I'm going to be soldering. Don't know how successful this will be. I'm on my little mini tripod, but hopefully I'll be able to show you. I'm not going to show you all of the soldering that I do. I'm just going to show you me doing a chip. I've got some half decent solder as well, which will help me. So solder. It's about 0.8 or 0.7 mil, I think. So literally all you do, hot soldering iron. There we go, 1 pin done, 2 pins done, 3 pins done, 4 pins done, 5 done, 6 done, 7 done. Right, so then they're all checked. I will always check them against light, by the way, so I'll always spin them up to the light to do them, and I will just try. I should probably have to see better now on this side. We're doing the other side of the board, and all I'm doing is just feeding the solder into the holes. That's all I'm doing, just feeding it through, making sure we've got plenty there, and then making sure we don't have any bridges. You shouldn't get any bridges most of the time, as long as you're feeding it through. There is flux in the solder, you don't need to flux it up to do through all. And there we go, so they're all done. Hopefully you got to see me do that, I'm hoping. Try and show you on the camera. And there we go, it's that little badger that's there, all nice freshly soldered up, don't look like there's any holes, done. Show you quickly, I won't show you the whole thing, but I'll show you. So that's the bad boy, U10 that I want to take off. I'm just going to show you how you do it with a solder sucker. So what you would do, I'll start from the top because I don't think you're going to be able to see it if I get to the bottom. But so all you do is you heat the pin and you solder suck, and then it's out. It's a bit bent over, that one. And then I'm literally going to work my way down this. This is a 40 pin IC, so it will take a bit of time, and you need to be careful just to prevent ripping any traces when you try and remove the chip later. There will be solder going, unfortunately, everywhere, but that's me removing it with my manual sucker. I have got a plug-in one, but it's crap, so I just refuse to use it. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I've got it out. It's not taking me a long time to take that out. Now, why would I not cut that out and I've removed it? So, a lot of people who do repairs, stuff I've watched online, Magic as well, will often cut an IC out. If he thinks an IC is bad, he'll definitely cut it out. Now, I think that's bad. I think it's probably the problem. But I don't know it's the problem. So, I mean, running from here, so it runs from all over there and it runs through these sill packs. So it could be sill packs giving a bad reading. It could be that one's cracked. They crack dead easy and they're fine. You can't see them. So I don't know that's bad as I sit. So that's why I've taken it out. So that's why I've removed it. I've removed it nice and cleanly. This one's been out before. I'll clean up all the holes again, and then I will replace it with one that I've had on the table that I know works. That's my next plan. Okay, so I've changed it with one that's got a JH tick on it, so I have cheat codes to some extent, in that I've got a load of 71055Cs that over the time I've been fixing them, and I bought a load at one point as well. I know work, there's some other chips on there as well, but I know they work, right? So I've got a cheat code for that. So at least I'm now at a stage where I'm known working here. Okay, I've checked there's no gaps through. They're all soldered in nicely. We're good to go. So let's turn her on. This is where I could end up down a rabbit hole if I still have the same fault. And then I'll be like, right, okay, so my U10 that I've taken out was good, potentially. So let's see what happens. So oh, hello. There we go. Error 4.4, which is probably, it's looking for something that's not there. Ultimately, a lot of them will give you error, MET60 error. So the first thing a lot of them look for is the meters. But as we can see, I've got no switches attached, so it's looking for something that is not there. Or could it be? It's 4.4 on these potentially. It's looking for percentage key. Could be percentage key error. Have got one knocking about somewhere. I'm just going to fire one on. I've got a switchable key. Let's just throw a switchable key on, because a lot of them do like to know there's a key there. Let's try and put it on the right way around, shall we? There you go. Make itself look slightly semi-competent. Right, let's turn that back on again. Let's see what you're now doing. There we go. Now we're getting 8.3, which is RAM resetting. And then it's going to give me an error for maybe reels or MET60 or something. 9.4, whatever 9.4 is. There we go. Right, so it came with a fault. The fault was I don't have a alpha. That fault has definitely gone away. Now I need to throw it in a machine, see what's doing. So the fun bit. So she's all in. Plugged her in. I'm using Kung Fu's processor. I'm using Kung Fu's ROMs. I'm using Kung Fu's sound card. It's set up correctly. It's got a percentage key on it. Moment of truth. Let's see what you do. It's sort of semi-promising. Always does that with doors open, by the way. So let's shut the doors. See what we do with the door shut. And we are turned on. This is good. I shall get a couple of quids and see what we're doing with a couple of quids. I might have to just turn it off a sec. Back in one sec. A few pounds I made earlier. And we are showing up 5 on there, which is good. We'll zoom out. Speaker's not in a good place. Unfortunately, it is actually the speaker as well. I have got a spare knocking about. I will at some point fit that, but for now I'm not asked. So you hear it, it's muffly. At some point we shall replace the speaker, but that is working. The only thing I need to check really, that I haven't checked, is it pays out. Because the last one I did, the roller coaster that I did for Andy Pritchard, I have like more than 3. Probably not. Should have just took me 3, shouldn't I? I need a win. Oh, got a wins there. Or we'll be greedy and have £3.
Quite well, my son.
Now we'll just play off the credits. So we'll at some point sort that speaker out because it's irritating the shit out of me. All good in the hood, working.
Kebab! Oh, hot sauce!